March 6, 1981. A German courtroom. Klaus Grabowski sat calmly during his trial for murdering a 7-year-old girl. Behind him, the victim's mother, Marianne Bachmeier, reached into her purse. She pulled out a Beretta pistol. 8 shots rang out. 6 bullets hit Grabowski in the back. He died instantly on the courtroom floor. She lowered the gun without resistance. Germany was shocked. The world was divided. Was Marianne a grieving mother seeking justice, or a cold-blooded killer? She'd smuggled a gun into court and executed her daughter's murderer in front of judges, lawyers, and witnesses. This is the story of a mother's ultimate revenge, and the trial that asked, when the law fails, who decides justice? May 5, 1980. 7-year-old Anna Bachmeier argued with her mother that morning and decided to skip school. The vibrant child loved playing with cats at her neighbor's house. That neighbor was Klaus Grabowski, a 35-year-old butcher. Anna had visited before, it seemed safe. But Grabowski was a convicted sex offender who'd served time for molesting children. In 1976, he'd voluntarily undergone chemical castration to control his urges. But he later received hormone treatments attempting to reverse it. When Anna arrived that day, Grabowski held her captive for hours, sexually assaulting her before strangling her with pantyhose. He packed her body in a cardboard box and left it by a canal. His fiancée discovered what he'd done and immediately called police. Grabowski was arrested that evening. Anna was gone forever. Klaus Grabowski confessed to killing Anna but claimed she tried to blackmail him. His story was disturbing and absurd. He alleged that 7-year-old Anna had seduced him and threatened to tell her mother about the abuse unless he paid her money. According to Grabowski, he killed her because he feared returning to prison. His defense attorneys argued that hormone treatments he'd received after his castration caused hormonal imbalances that made him violent. They claimed medical authorities shared blame for allowing those treatments. The prosecution prepared their case, but Grabowski's lies about Anna, calling a murdered child a seductress and blackmailer, enraged everyone who heard them. Marianne Bachmeier sat through the first 2 days of trial listening to her daughter's killer defame Anna's memory. She was breaking inside. After Anna's murder, Marianne's grief consumed her. She struggled to sleep, haunted by images of her daughter's final moments. Friends later revealed that Marianne practiced shooting in her basement, rehearsing what she planned to do. She acquired a small Beretta pistol and loaded it with purpose. On the 3rd day of Grabowski's trial, Marianne prepared carefully. She dressed normally, concealing the weapon in her purse. Security at the 1981 German courthouse was minimal, metal detectors weren't standard yet. She entered the courtroom calmly, taking her seat among spectators. Grabowski sat at the defendant's table with his back to the gallery. Marianne waited, knowing what she intended. When she heard Grabowski planned to make another statement maligning Anna, something inside her snapped. She'd heard enough lies. Justice through law had failed her daughter. She would deliver justice herself. March 6, 1981, approximately 10 a.m. Lübeck District Court, Room 157. Marianne Bachmeier reached into her purse. She stood up calmly. She raised the Beretta pistol and aimed at Klaus Grabowski's back. 8 shots fired in rapid succession. The courtroom erupted in chaos. 6 bullets hit Grabowski, killing him almost instantly. 2 shots missed, lodging in courtroom walls. Witnesses screamed. Lawyers dove for cover. The judge shouted for order. Marianne lowered the gun. She stood there, emotionless, as court officers rushed toward her. She didn't resist arrest. She didn't run. She simply said, "I did it for you, Anna." Officers handcuffed her and led her away. Grabowski's body lay on the courtroom floor. The trial for Anna's murder was over. But Marianne's trial was just beginning. Police questioned Marianne immediately after the shooting. Judge Günter Kroger, who spoke with her, testified that she clearly stated, "I wanted to kill him. He killed my daughter. I wanted to shoot him in the face but only managed to hit his back. I just wanted him dead." Officers confirmed she called Grabowski a pig. When asked for a handwriting sample, Marianne wrote, "I did it for you, Anna," and decorated the paper with 7 hearts, one for each year of Anna's short life. Her statements were unambiguous. This wasn't accidental. This was premeditated revenge. Marianne showed no remorse for killing Grabowski. She later told reporters she'd carefully considered the action to enforce the law on him and prevent him from spreading more lies about Anna. Germany's legal system now faced an extraordinary case, a mother who'd committed murder in open court. The Marianne Bachmeier case became an immediate international sensation. Television crews from around the world traveled to Lübeck. Newspapers dedicated front pages to the revenge mother. The German magazine Stern paid Marianne approximately 100,000 Deutsche Marks for exclusive rights to her life story, running sympathetic serialized articles before her trial even began. Public opinion was deeply divided. Some viewed Marianne as a grief-stricken mother driven to desperation by a system that protected her daughter's killer. Others saw her as a vigilante who'd undermined rule of law with cold-blooded murder. Letters poured in from across Germany and beyond, hundreds supporting her, hundreds condemning her. The case raised profound questions. What happens when legal justice feels inadequate? Does a mother's grief justify taking a life? Can vigilante action ever be morally defensible? The debate consumed the nation. Marianne's troubled background became central to her defense. Born June 3, 1950, she'd endured a traumatic childhood, unloved by an unstable mother, abandoned by an alcoholic father, beaten by her stepfather. At 16, she had her first child out of wedlock. At 19, she became pregnant again after being raped. By age 30, she'd had 3 children total, giving 2 up for adoption but keeping Anna. Psychologists testified that Marianne's difficult past and series of unhappy relationships made her emotionally fragile. Anna became more than a daughter, she was Marianne's closest friend, confidant, and emotional anchor. According to expert testimony, for Marianne, losing Anna was like losing herself. Her entire identity centered on being Anna's mother. When Anna was murdered, Marianne's psychological foundation collapsed. The defense argued she wasn't fully in control when she shot Grabowski. Her actions, while illegal, stemmed from unbearable psychological trauma. November 2, 1982. Marianne Bachmeier stood trial for murder in the same courthouse where she'd killed Grabowski. Prosecutors initially charged her with premeditated murder, which carried a life sentence. But as evidence emerged, they downgraded charges to manslaughter. Marianne's defense argued she'd brought the gun to court but hadn't intended to use it until she heard Grabowski plan to make another statement defaming Anna. She testified she shot him, as if in a dream, and saw visions of her daughter urging her on. Psychologists supported this, explaining that extreme grief can cause dissociative states. The defense also blamed authorities for allowing Grabowski's hormone treatments, which restored sexual urges leading to Anna's murder. Prosecutors argued for an 8-year sentence, acknowledging public sympathy while maintaining that vigilante justice couldn't be tolerated. Germany watched intensely, waiting to see how courts would balance justice, mercy, and law. Public support for Marianne was extraordinary. Thousands of letters arrived supporting her actions. Many were from parents who identified with her grief and rage. Stern magazine's coverage sparked massive reader response. People shared their own stories of failed justice, of criminals who escaped adequate punishment, of victims forgotten by the system. Women's groups organized rallies supporting Marianne, calling her a symbol of mothers' protection of children. Some viewed her as a feminist icon who'd refused to be powerless against male violence. Others saw her as highlighting flaws in how sex offenders were managed. Grabowski had been castrated yet still murdered a child after hormone treatments reversed the procedure. The case became bigger than one mother's revenge. It represented societal frustration with perceived judicial leniency toward violent criminals. Many Germans quietly admitted they'd have done the same thing. Marianne became a folk hero to those who'd lost faith in legal justice. Marianne's attorneys built a sophisticated defense combining temporary insanity and diminished capacity. Expert witnesses testified about trauma's impact on cognition. They claimed hearing Grabowski lie about Anna triggered a dissociative episode. She wasn't fully conscious during the shooting. The defense attacked the state, arguing authorities bore responsibility for allowing Grabowski's hormone treatments after castration. They highlighted courtroom security failures. How did she smuggle a loaded weapon inside? The defense painted Marianne as a victim of multiple system failures who'd reached a breaking point. They acknowledged she'd killed Grabowski but argued extreme emotional disturbance reduced her legal culpability substantially. Prosecutors faced enormous public sympathy but couldn't ignore premeditated murder in open court. They presented evidence showing Marianne practiced shooting in her basement. This wasn't spontaneous. Witnesses testified she'd acquired the gun specifically for revenge. Her statements, "I wanted to kill him," proved intent. The prosecution argued that while Marianne's grief was understandable, allowing vigilante justice would destroy civilized society. Courts exist to prevent personal vendettas. They downgraded charges from murder to manslaughter, recognizing mitigating circumstances, but requested 8 years imprisonment. The message: no matter how justified someone feels, killing outside legal process remains criminal and will be punished. March 2, 1983. The judge delivered the verdict. Marianne Bachmeier was found guilty of manslaughter and unlawful firearm possession. The judge acknowledged her unbearable suffering and Grabowski's provocation. However, courts cannot condone vigilantism regardless of justification. Marianne was sentenced to 6 years in prison, less than the 8 years requested, reflecting judicial sympathy. The relatively light sentence sparked debate. Some felt 6 years was too harsh for a grieving mother. Others believed it too lenient for premeditated murder. The verdict satisfied nobody completely but attempted to balance justice, mercy, and maintaining rule of law. Marianne served her sentence in a German women's prison. She maintained composure, never expressing remorse for killing Grabowski. Fellow inmates reportedly respected her. She received thousands of supportive letters. After 3 years of her 6-year sentence, Marianne was released early for good behavior in 1985. Upon release, she withdrew from public life. She published an autobiography in 1994. In a 1995 television interview, Marianne admitted she'd shot Grabowski after careful consideration to enforce justice. She never wavered in believing her actions were justified. Friends said she remained haunted by Anna's death but never regretted avenging her daughter. After prison, Marianne lived quietly. She struggled with health issues and never recovered from Anna's loss. In 1996, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. On September 17, 1996, at age 46, Marianne Bachmeier died in a Lübeck hospital. She was buried next to Anna, finally reunited. Her case remained one of Germany's most discussed legal controversies, sparking debates about vigilante justice, grief, and legal system failures. Films and documentaries examined her story. Law schools studied her case. Marianne's legacy is complicated, neither purely heroic nor criminal, but profoundly human. She represents every parent's nightmare and the question, what would you do if the law failed your child? Marianne Bachmeier's story refuses simple judgment. She killed a man in cold blood during a trial. Yet she killed her daughter's confessed murderer, a sex offender lying about the child he strangled. Was she right or wrong? Most agree, both. Her grief was legitimate. Grabowski's crime was monstrous. But vigilante justice threatened society. We need courts because emotions can't guide punishment fairly. Marianne's case challenges us: how should society balance victim rights and rule of law? What happens when legal justice feels inadequate? These questions remain unanswered. If you want more complex true crime stories, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.